I want to give credit to Virginia Tech. Buzz does a great job, and he got really good players. Justin Robinson's one of the best point guards in the country. I knew it was going to be difficult to defend him. He really makes them go. But I was really proud of the way we responded in that second half. I mean, we gave up 37 to only give up to one of the highest scoring teams, only 25 points. Is just it's Penn State basketball. We were defending, we were rebounding, we were all over the floor. Our sophomores really stepped up. I think John felt better that Mike was back so he could really go out there and play carefree, not worry about fouling. I thought Jamari Wheeler really set the tempo for our toughness on the defensive end. What can you say about your freshman, Marion Jones? I told you guys this kid's nickname is Buckets. I just knew it was only a matter of time before he'd see the ball go in. And it was nice to see Ra as well make some shots after, struggling the last couple of games. So I think it was a total team effort and really proud of our leadership. Lamar Stevens was unbelievable and incredibly unselfish.
Hi, Coach. So Buzz mentioned that Mike was a game changer. So can you talk about how his involvement on the court changes the game for your team?
Like I just said, I think Mike changed John. I think Mike changed Jamari a little bit, where they know that they could now really play carefree and know that they have Mike coming in the game or Mike being out there. Jamari can take a little bit more chances. He can play a little bit tougher, a little bit more physical. And obviously rebounding has been a little bit of an Achilles heel. And, Mike played 20 or 21 minutes and had 7 rebounds. And his ability to protect the rim really helped us in the second half. But you can see he's a long way to go to be in shape and the habits we need to form for Mike to be who he was towards the end of last year. But again, I think he's helped our team and their confidence.
You mentioned the second half response, in particular the 9-0 run that they had, kind of right around that 12-minute mark. What was your approach to kind of level your guys out and get them back?
It was the same approach that it was at Bradley. One possession at a time. That's all we talked about, one possession at a time. We knew people, they're going to go on runs, we're going to go on runs. I didn't see any bad body language in the huddles. I saw Lamar really stepping up, talking to everybody. And that's what we needed. We needed our guys to take ownership at that point. And we got the stops that we needed, and we started to see the ball go through the basket.
Pat, you can preach all you want about defense winning games no matter what happens offensively, but how important was it to see it in this game? Because both teams were struggling down the stretch there. And for you guys to be able to pull it out defensively, how important is that, especially for your young guys?
It's huge as we continue to develop and become the best team that we can be as the season goes along and prepare us for the Big Ten. Obviously, Big Ten plays this Saturday. But to be able to win, and, it was a little bit ugly at times, which I don't mind ugly. I want to defend, I want to rebound, I want to dive, I want to take charge, and I want to all that good stuff. But we made the necessary plays. So I think it gives our team, gives our leaders tremendous confidence in what we're doing.
And you talk about it was ugly a little bit. It was like a street fight a little bit. I know that's kind of cliche, but how did your young guys react to being in that kind of game? Because a lot of times for younger kids, they may lose their cool, but it didn't seem like they did.
Yeah, it's a good point. And sometimes we also talk about street fights, a rock fight, and we use those cliches all the time. And we knew it was going to happen. I think Saturday and Sunday's practices prepared us. Wright State, DePaul, Wright State, Bradley, the way that prepared us to be successful in this game, to not to let anything get to us, just to next play, next possession, next stop, next rebound. Keep sharing the ball on offense. I felt like in the huddles, these guys were so in tune, so dialed in, and that's what it's going to have to be as we progress here as the season goes on.
Coach, especially at the end of the game, but a lot of times throughout when Mike Watkins wasn't on the floor, you were putting Lamar instead of John down on Blackshear in the post. What did you guys like about that matchup, and why do you think it worked so well?
It really wasn't about that matchup, but it was about Robinson. Everything was about Robinson for me. Another cliche, we wanted to cut the head off. So we blitzed him a little bit, and we got the ball out of his hands. But when we switched with the fives, it wasn't a good matchup. So I moved Lamar onto the 5. I moved Josh Reeves onto Robinson. So when they did run a ball screen, I felt very good about it. And when they wanted to go post ISO with 24, I felt like Lamar can cover 1 through 5. He's one of our best post defenders. I felt good about it.
Pat, going off of that, you mentioned Mike, his conditioning isn't up to par yet. Were you surprised that when he was on the floor they didn't try to get him to switch on to guards as much?
Well, when Mike's in the game, that's not going to be our defense. Yeah. We got to stay home and be solid.
Pat, was this the best defensive performance that you've had here at Penn State?
I would say the second half. You know, the goal is to play 40 minutes of Penn State basketball. Each guy has 200 minutes. We got to maximize those 200 minutes. So I'd say the 20 minutes in the second half looks pretty good to me.
Pat, I think this was a season-high minutes for MJ tonight. What was his mentality going like after he saw a couple shots go through, and how is that beneficial to have not just 1 or 2 freshmen, but now a third freshman that you can help step up and lead the team in scoring?
Yeah, it's great to have that luxury of these guys. It'd be nice if they all played great together. That would be fantastic. MJ's had really good practices. He stayed the course when minutes were in single digits. I'll go back to Saturday and Sunday. I thought he was fantastic. And even down in Cancun, very good attitude, very good approach. But I saw the ball go through the basket for him. It was only a matter of time, and we saw it tonight.
And what do you think that says about the team as a whole, that where Lamar shoots 6 of 16 and you're still able to beat a ranked opponent?
It says there's a chance that we might have some depth, which is great. And if we can just get Josh Reeves going, I think, you know, as we progress here, you know, we have the makings of a very good basketball team.
We're just fighting over the microphone. 2 things. The first thing, I don't know if I would have pegged you guys to only be down 2 if Josh had only played 9 minutes in the first half, just because of what he sort of brings to the table in games like this. What do you learn about everybody else when Josh is not out there, because he's been Josh?
Yeah, it's hard. It happened in the first couple games here. If you recall, he didn't play the whole first half. I think it was Jacksonville State, if I'm correct. And so we've experienced it in games. We work on it in practice. But to be able to do it and find success and to be only down 2 just shows we're getting a little bit better each day.
In the last 2 minutes, we've seen that game, 100 times where weird things have happened and things have not gone your way, and then it's sort of that punch that how do you recover from? For these guys, a lot of the younger guys, Lamar's done it, obviously, but for some of these younger guys to get out the right end of all of that, how much of a learning experience is that?
Great learning experience, great confident boost going into 2 Big Ten games. Really executed our 4-minute defense at the end of game to almost to perfection. I still have to watch the film. I'm sure I missed something. But, again, it goes back to we had great leadership. Guys were dialed in. They were very focused. And, we got big rebounds when we needed to.
Hey, Coach. In the first half, Virginia Tech went 8 for 13 from 3, but in the second half, they only got 6 attempts off. What did you guys do differently to limit their opportunities? Yeah,
I thought we communicated at halftime. It wasn't any grave, big time adjustment. It was just communicate a little bit better and trust each other. Something we worked on Saturday and Sunday. Whatever the see it, say it, do it. So we did a better job of that. And then again, we made that adjustment with Lamar to the 5-man. I thought that really helped us out.
Coach, Vatek really only ran with, about 5 players, and only 4 of them scored today. How does it affect your defense knowing that, the ball's going to go through the same couple guys' hands every possession?
Well, to me, it was all about Justin Robinson. Like I said, I think he's one of the best point guards in the country. He's one of the toughest kids. I recruited him in high school, and, man, he has surpassed all expectations. I thought we had to slow him down in the second half, and I think we did a good job of that.
Hey, Pat, in the back.
Yep.
Had you dropped this game, you would have been going into Big Ten play on a 2-game losing streak. Now that you've gotten a win against a ranked team, how important is that to go into Big Ten play with a statement win, so to speak?
I feel like we're getting closer to who we need to be now with Mike back. I felt like we had good reps down in Cancun. I was really proud of the way we competed. The team that I think we envisioned to be is that Wright State game where we defensively. We locked down, and we look very good offensively. So we just have to keep getting better. I don't want to get too far ahead here. I want to let these guys enjoy tonight, enjoy this victory. We'll start working on Big Ten play as it approaches on Saturday. But we have a lot of room for growth, and we can get a heck of a lot better, and that's really exciting. Even if we drop this game, I still felt like we could really go on and be a very good team. Yeah, go ahead. You know what? I want them to play as hard as they can for as long as they can. So I wanted to use as many guys as possible.